Hello and welcome back if you joined me for the introductory video. If you didn't and this is your first time, please do pop back and have a look at it because it will explain to you what we're doing and why we're doing it over the coming weeks. So over the coming weeks, we're going to be looking at mental health. We're going to be talking about mental health. Before we do that, I thought it'd be a really good idea just to put a little bit of context around the subject. Because let's face it doesn't matter how many footballers or famous faces talk about mental health, when it comes down to grassroots, when it comes down to ground level, there is still an awful lot of fear, myths, misconceptions about mental health out there. Now, thinking about mental health, let's dispel a few myths to start off with. So, physical health, we can be well, we can be unwell, we can be anywhere in between. It's exactly the same with mental health. The brain is just another organ in our body that can go wrong in exactly the same way as every other organ in our body. Neither you or I know whether we're going to develop a physical health problem, and neither you or I know when we're going to develop a mental health problem, or if we're going to. Now, we do know that certain people have greater risks than other people in exactly the same way as certain people have greater risks in terms of their physical health. And we'll look at that a little bit over the coming weeks. But all of us have the capacity to be unwell in terms of our mental health in exactly the same way as we do in terms of our physical health. There are things that we can do to mitigate the risk, and we'll look at that as well. So just in terms of that fear, what is it about? Why are we fearful? Well, I think the stigma and discrimination that has hung around mental health for so many years is really problematic in terms of getting people to feel comfortable to open up about their mental health. So, there's often that fear that we'll be seen as somebody who is unable to do our jobs properly, or we might be difficult, or we're going to cause a problem, we're going to be violent, or we're going to be aggressive. It's just not the case. These are myths that have been developed through the film industry, through novels, where it's the person with a mental health condition that goes out and rampages and kills people. When you think about it, statistically, somebody with diabetes is more likely to harm you than somebody with a diagnosis of psychosis. Now, I'm not saying that people with diabetes go out and harm people. What I'm saying to you is, statistically, you're more likely to be harmed by that group than somebody with psychosis. In actual fact, somebody with a mental health condition, somebody with psychosis, is more likely to be the victim than the perpetrator of crime. They're actually more likely to harm themselves than harm other people. So the way we talk about mental health is really important in terms of breaking down some of these barriers, making people feel more comfortable to talk about it, to get the help that's out there. The old idea that people who had a mental health condition should be put into a hospital and left there to rot is so way outdated. We know that people who have a mental health condition or experience difficulties can recover, and recovery is not just possible, it's likely. This is not something that, you're unwell, that's it, that's just who you are. So thinking about how we view this subject, a lot of that will come down to the person we are, our own values, our own beliefs, our education, our age, our gender, so many things in terms of the experiences that have brought us to the place we are today. Now, when we're talking to somebody about mental health or any other subject, whether it's about a lifestyle choice or it's about sexuality or religion or politics, whatever it is, it's important that we're aware of our own values and judgments, and we leave those at the door when we try and talk to somebody about different things. So thinking about, judgment, you might like to think you're non-judgmental, but let me tell you, we're all judgmental. It's the way we navigate our way around the world safely. So it's leaving that judgment at the door, and being aware of our values and our judgments is so important when we're actually trying to support somebody around their mental health. I saw a quote the other day and it said, "We don't see things as they are, we see things as we are." I thought, gosh, how true is that? So over the coming weeks, I'm going to try and help you to see things from a slightly different perspective, to try and get some understanding of where somebody else might be and why they're experiencing the things they're experiencing or feeling the way they're feeling. So I'm going to pop these out every Wednesday. So I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. I hope you've enjoyed today's little video and found it useful. And like I say, I look forward to seeing you next time.